Welcome to a Saturday evening and try number 2 at Saturday's video. Yes, I blew it all up a few hours ago. I had a whole bin over here of stuff to do and AliExpress stuff to unpack, which is all unpacked now. And then I realized I somehow bumped the button in and it wasn't recording a damn thing. So we get to start over again. I can't show you the unpacking and the envelopes, but I can show you the stuff, what I got. So one of the items was these little magnets. They're going to be used in a little LED cube. I saw a method for holding the cube together that I'm going to try out, but I need to learn 3D printing software. Now, one of the biggest things I was working on and getting parts for was this. This is the retro chip tester, and it has a huge amount of parts needed. So I have here a whole bin full of parts. So I needed a bunch of what they're called nylon screws and standoffs and stuff. Diodes by the ton. Especially this 2 batches, the 5V1s and stuff. I did get some extras, just in case. These guys are just multi-packs of different ones. Transistors. See, lots of transistors. More transistors, and still more transistors. Then there's this item at the bottom here. This is the IVR for programming the IVR. I could have probably done it with one of my other ones, but this was the recommended one, so I will use the recommended one. And just to make sure, I'm just going to put this and this board in the bin, like so. Now, I did get some other stuff. This is a kit to make an IVR programmer. So it needs assembly. And these two go together. So this is 2mm and this is 2.54mm DuPonts. So the idea is this is 2mm headers. I have that Arduino Uno Collector's Edition, and it uses very small headers. Now I really tried to find 2mm male headers, but I could not find them. So but the board does have the holes to put these in. So I figure if we solder this to the collector's edition, then we jump from those, then we have this side and we can break it out. And then this guy here is simply, I have all these boards that have GPIO, like 2 rows of pins together all the time. So that's what this is. This is just that side of thing. I didn't want to put 2 single rows in and then have to try to figure out their straight and stuff like that. So these 2 guys here are round displays. They're basically addressable round displays. They look like little, like you would have on a watch or something like that, Okay. And then what I have here, someone asked on a message, and this is the weird thing about YouTube. Sometimes YouTube's erasing messages because it thinks it's bad, but then I know they're not bad, but it doesn't give me a chance to even do that. But they were asking about SD cards and using them from like a microcontroller. So I bought a bunch of these just to check them out. So that's that. And then this is a wave share breakout board for the Pico. A really nice one. If you really want a really nice board with all the pins here and all the breakouts here, all labeled and color coded, this is a really nice breakout. It's on par with the purple one I have here. And I just happened to put a Pico on just to check it. So that cube I talked about, I considered building the big cube. Right now, the big cube, do I have a board thing here? No, I don't have it readily easily. I moved them. They're about that big in size. There's two types that you could get. They built the project on. There was two, what they call P2.0s and P2.5s LED matrices, 64 by 64. And then you had 6 of them, of course, because it's a cube. And then the particular 2.5s they were using had the edge, the black frame that's around the LED matrix was beveled inward 45 degrees so that you can make a cube out of it. Right? But problem is getting one of those with this beveled edge, that's close to $50 per panel. So to get 6 of them, that's $300 plus shipping to get it here. Right? So yeah, the dumb thing is they're about $22 a panel plus like $20 shipping. Now, I don't know if I buy them all from the same pat. There's only one manufacturer I found that makes them. If I buy them all, will I get a discount on the shipping? I don't know. Right? So I decided, well, I could do the cube project, but let's do the cube project with these guys. Okay? And these guys are, I've shown them off before. I have some, but I wired them up. These ones, what I want to do is I want to put a JST style connector on here. And then I just can put ribbon cable connectors just like I do with the sensors. And there's 6 of them in this bag. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I have 6 of them here. Right? Now this piece right here, it doesn't have to stay. It can be snapped off. It's not critical to the system. It's just there for, I don't know. But these matrices, instead, unlike the other ones, these are actually per pixel addressable. So if you say on this thing, I'm going to address number 8, it walks it down and you're talking to 8. And this, meaning this software that can drive this is just a NeoPixel library, like from Adafruit. You'll just simply have 60 sets of 64, 8 times 8, right? Now, I've been debating how to do this. I mean, one approach is just the daisy chain the whole lot of them together into one superset, right? So 6 times 64 thing, and it'll probably work, right? The other method I was thinking of, since you just need a pin to control them, is you wire up all the power so they all get power, but then you take the data pins and you send one to per control pin, and then you could actually control them as a subset of 6 different ones at the same time. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I was thinking about it. I did get also, let me just move this over here out of the way. I have to store these away later. Okay, so I saw some cute little displays here. These guys here, they're actually dip, dual inline pin, like so. They're actually mini-me displays, really tiny LCD, I think LCDs, right? I think they're 4-digit things. They're kind of like the 8-segment displays, but these are in LCD. So I'll have to figure out how to talk to them. And then this here is, I almost broke, and I have it here. So when I got this titanium RGB matrix from Adafruit, this Pi Portal titanium, there was a slight problem. When I got it out of the bag, this one? No, not this stuff. This stuff here. This switch was missing right there. No, so I couldn't program it, I couldn't do anything. It was missing a switch. So I kind of hacked the switch on, but it's a bit big, it sticks up, the usual stuff, right? But I didn't have any other switches that would fit. Now I do. So what we have here is a pack with all different switches, little guys. And I'm thinking possibly this the red one here would be a good replacement for that one right there. It looks like it's the right size. It's slow down. Nice click. But I have now samples of all the buttons. So big ones like this to very tiny ones over here like these guys right here. And then we have rocker switches, or sorry, edge, these guys. We've got variant of those. Seem to have a type of switch here that has very long leads, 2 leads. Right. So the idea is now I can fix these things depending what switch I need. Better put that over here so I don't damage it. And then the other problems I had was the macro. I almost broke 2 macros. I almost damaged the USB somehow. So what this is, bag full is all different types of USB connectors. Surface mount, edge mount, all sorts. And including in here are some of the same ones being used on that one, USB-C ones. But they're all different types in here. Usually in pairs of 2. So like this, which is a USB 2. More USB 2. But you get the idea. This bag is just literally full of them. All different types. So now if I break a USB port, I should be able to fix it. Now one thing I had here was, let's just get that out of the way. On my soldering pencil, I kind of damaged the tip on this. You can see it's really crapped out. I literally vaporized it somehow. I did play with the temperature settings a bit on my gun, turned it down a bit. It's really a toss-up in how fast you want to be able to solder to how quick it'll melt. I mean, in theory, the leaded solder only needs like 275 Celsius to melt, but you have to take into account the pad is going to suck heat away and stuff like this, and you might get a very slow melt. So slow, in fact, that it's hard to work with. So I instead went off and, lo and behold, lots and lots of soldering tips. These are all different. They're not all the same. So we've got ones with, let me just turn the brightness down a little bit. We got ones that have really pointies to not so pointy to wedges, bigger wedges. And I think I have some sample pack ones where they're different in the pack. No, that's wedge. That's point. Really point. Is it point and wedge? Yeah, so this is like a point and wedge. It's very little bit of a wedge at the end. These are obvious wedges. So are these. And then these guys here, they're actually 3 different types. So we've got kind of order here. We've got not so pointy, more pointy, and really pointy. And they all actually have markings on them that tell you what they are. So this says it's a TI, and this one is a TB, and this one here is a T1.2D. Now, so that means that this one actually comes in about 4 sizes itself. It's everything about the way the tip is done. So this tip has a little bit of a flat top and a wedge on it. And of course, these are just regular. So I'm hoping out of all these that I'll have a spare tips for the next, I don't know, millennium. depending how fast I melt them out. Hopefully I don't. What else? Oh yes, I did so much describing of this big ticket item that I then wasn't recording. So I did pick up in here. This is a Omnidirectional Smart Car car kit. This is the list, the BMO. So we've got a mount. We've got the Bluetooth piece. This is like a serial Bluetooth, all from a company called OpenSmart. This guy here is probably the only Uno I have here that is a serious update revision, because this particular Uno has USB-C. But notice the color coding, which I thought was kind of cool. I suspect there's a program already on here just for all this. You don't even have to program it. There's a 5-volt 3.3 selector. There's some extra header stuff in here that they're not using apparently. But yeah, that's funny. On the camera, I see this on OBS. It looks orange. It's actually red. Can we say color problem with the camera? I don't know. But that goes there. That goes on with the car. This is that little sensor. It goes in the bracket. You've seen these before in those sensor kits. This sound sensor, high frequency. Then we have what looks like a motor driver board. And then we have, of course, cables of from different sizes, or no, it looks like 2 to 4s or 4 to 4s and some 2 to 2s. Right. Then we have metal hardware and lots of screws. This is probably for assembling all the stuff together. They have this battery pack, but I think I can fit on it two 16550s, 18550s. I have those particular batteries somewhere around here. I don't know what I actually did with them, but they're around here somewhere. I might have stuck them back up there. But they're the rechargeable lithium batteries. I think they'll work better for this. So this is 1.5 and 1.5. What's the battery that's supposed to go in here? So yeah, so the same batteries I'm using, except they don't give you the batteries for the thing, but it's a compartment for it. But I have a better, I think, compartment for this. They're going to give me two 3.7s out in serial. So it's like 7.5 volts base. 7.4 volts? 3.7 and 7.7 is 14, 6, 7.4. Yeah, so 7.4 volts. But I can do that with another unit and a recharging capability. And more hardware to fasten things. The motors for the wheels. Like so. A very funky USB cable. This one happens to be purple. Not that I need this, really, because I got 10 billion of them. Wheels for said vehicle. And in the bottom, the actual said vehicle. So this is what it looks like. Now, I noticed one thing, that this cap is not on very cleanly. I'm going to fix that up. Not a problem. So this cap is nice. It's nice and flat on the circuit board. This one is not. I will fix it up. It's just a matter of doing some soldering. So here goes the wheels. There goes the motors. Motor. Are we missing a hole for the motor? Motor C. Interesting. Did they do the board wrong? So they would have this fastened. I'm now curious. I didn't notice this before when I first looked at this. So let us figure out, because of course it's adult proof. There we go. So 2 motors. And a little bit of glue gunning here. So they would have us probably like this, or is that the hole, or is it this hole? No, this sounds like it's the hole for the motor. Like the wheel. This is the shaft for the wheel. So do they expect something like this? I have a picture of a wheel here. This must be the top. I wonder how they fasten it down. Well, we've got 2 little holes here. 1 hole here, 1 hole in the middle, 1 hole down here. This doesn't look very smart on how to put it all together. And I'm pretty sure that this is... Ooh, this is a very tight wheel. Well, you can tell you, I've got a bunch of fun to figure out how to actually put this thing together. And so like so. And I'll put this in here. And then these guys will go in here. They even supplied screwdriver. That will go in there. And then one thing I did get that came with the same company, they were in a kit together actually, is this guy here. So this is another Arduino. You can tell it's the same idea, except on this one they have the bigger connector for some reason. I don't know why. They should have just put another USB-C on here. And we have a display on here. Now they did pin a few extra things on here. So this Uno is laid out a little differently than that Uno is. You can tell by all the change over here. And it's like the red button I was talking about. Like so. Except that seems to be a 5 thingy red button. Interesting. And then a massive 256 meg SD card. So I am just, no, this is not for the vehicle, so yeah. Let's put it down here. So that was all the AliExpress parts. And sorry I don't have the envelope opening part, because as I said, I screwed up and I wasn't actually recording. Now, I did, a month ago on a weekend, I did work on these guys here too. So this is my hatchet job for changing the I2C addresses on these things. Like so. So each one can have its own one of 4 I2C addresses. You just have to flip a dip switch. Now, interesting thing is, don't flip the dip switch while you're trying to use it. You'll just freeze up the code. Number 2, don't turn 2 of them on. You'll get a really confusion in the code, right? But the idea here is, oh, I didn't realize I crossed a hole. That's okay. I can. There. This one's better than this one, actually. I managed to get the wires shorter on this one than this one. This one should have gone down more. But this was for my trophy. I was thinking of putting it like this. or possibly like this in a shell, and then the trophy sits on top of these and gets lit from within. It's one of those glass trophies that you can shine light through and whatever. So I was thinking of doing that. So those are those. On this desktop, I did do a major update. OS, VMware's version of the OS. And I see I managed to type this up here. Why is my mouse slow? Oh, there it is. This mouse, Logitech, if you accidentally press this button so that light goes on, the cursor is 1/10 the speed. It kind of drives you bonkers because you reach over the thing with your thumb like this to use it. It's used like this, and you can do that all the time. I don't know why the Logitech put the button there. Duh. So my next chore for tonight probably is to find the ZIF socket and stuff that I got. I put it all somewhere in another bin. But as you know, William has too many bins. And so somewhere over here in a bin is more parts. What did I just throw on the floor? Oh, just a piece of paper. Yeah. Somewhere is one of these little half bins without a label. And it probably contains the ZIF socket and stuff. Photo boards. Yeah, so Cyclotron, these purple boards. This I still think is one of the slickest Pico breakout boards. So this has got all its parts on it. So it's got its wireless module. Everything is on here. So it's made by Cyclotron, Maker Pi Pico. And this is SparkFun's connector. And this is more Adafruit's connector. So you can get these from Adafruit to convert from one to the other. So I had those here. So where did I put those? They're not in the labeled bins. I know I didn't put them in label bins. Those are bins needing labels. Edge connectors. Unsorted electronic parts. Well, that's definitely the sum total of what's happening over here. Well, I'll have to root it out. There are somewhere around here is a micro small bin with a ZIF socket and stuff like that in it. I'm not exactly sure where. I have to go rooting around, and that's not easily done while talking. So this will be it for the AliExpress mail. I might start another vid tomorrow, and as I start assembling the board, that is, if I find all the rest of my parts where I stuck them. I'm sure I stuck them somewhere. And it's not in here, I don't think. No, that's all the sensor land I was playing with. Definitely not in there. But I do have it somewhere. You can't miss a blue ZIF socket and stuff like that. It's floating around here somewhere. So as I'll leave this off. It's exactly a half hour. Well, it would have been a little longer if we did all the proper debagging and stuff like that. But that's it. So I'm going to look for parts actually right now. And I'll eventually find what I'm looking for. Did I bump the camera? Yeah, I did. There we go. I always bump that damn thing. Okay, that should call it for this.